Good morning and welcome back to Born Bright, the place where you can watch me as I try and become more self-sufficient in my life. I don't always get there, but at least I take one step every day, which is what you can do. You can take one step every single day. But in this video, I've got something really special because we're going to do some magic. Not the kind of magic you think, not the Las Vegas magic, but the real magic of herbs and healing. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can make your own elderflower syrup. But it's not just any make elderflower syrup video. This is a special elderflower syrup video because we're going to make elderflower syrup completely off the grid using my Trangia 25-2 UL camp stove, which I did review earlier on, and you can find that one at the link over there. So what we're going to do, seeing as though it's June and the sun's out and it's beautiful and it's a gorgeous day and the flowers of the elder are in full blossom. You've probably noticed them. They're big white umbels on a green bushy looking tree, and there's a very distinctive and potent smell in the air around an elder tree. You'll know what that smells like if you've ever had elderflower cordial or elderflower syrup or something like that. You can smell it especially after a downpour or early morning when there's heavy dew in the air. The elder tree, known mythologically and in folklore and in all of the historical herbal texts, at least going back to the 1600s in Culpeper's English Physician, at least until then, the elder tree is associated with the mother of protection, of healing, and it is said that if you take the leaves of the elder tree when they're green and lush and you hang them above the threshold of your home, Mother Elder will ward off the evil spirits and keep them from entering your house, perhaps something we could all use a little bit of at the moment. So it's pretty easy to identify at this time of the year because it's got these big white umbels with white flowers, and there's hundreds of flowers on each umbel, and the green leaf, it's a long, about that long, thin serrated edged leaf. The edges of the leaf look like the tip of a saw blade or the edge of a saw blade, and that's really how you can identify it. And of course, you should always be absolutely sure what you're working with before you make any kind of herbal remedy. So make sure you do that and you take your books with you, your herbal books. If you don't know any herbal books, there's a whole list of them on the website at bornbright.com/herbs. All right, so let's get into today's experiment. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make some elderflower syrup. We're going to make about 1 litre of elderflower syrup, and this will store for about 3 to 4 months in the fridge or in a cold pantry or somewhere, because the preservatives that we will add to the syrup will keep it from going off. But of course, as always, if something smells off or it looks off or it's just funky, don't eat it or drink it. The recipe is really simple, as long as you can find an elder tree, and all you're going to need are 15 to 20 umbels of elderflower, 500 grams of sugar, 500 millilitres of water, 3 lemons, and some apple cider vinegar, preferably with the mother inside. So because I'm doing this off grid with my Trangia camp stove, I'm going to get this set up now and then we'll go through it. The first thing you need to do is shake off all of the little insects from your umbels of elderflower. So get yourself a bowl, pull it to one side and gently run your fingers along the stem of the elderflower umbels, and you'll get some flowers falling off, but really what you want to do is you really want to disturb any insects or spiders and stuff that might still be on the elderflowers. That might take 20 or 30 minutes because there can be a lot of insects, as you can see in the video. Once you've done that, you can put all of your elderflower aside and put it in your casserole dish or whichever dish you're going to use to actually make the syrup in. Once you've done that, you can put your elderflowers aside and start to make the syrup. So you want to pour 500 grams of sugar into your pot, pour 500 milliliters of your water into the pot, half one of your lemons, and squeeze all the juice from that lemon into the syrup, and also get your 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and pour that into the syrup as well. You want to boil that, or bring to the boil, so it's bubbling and it's boiling, and then after that you want to simmer for about 15 minutes and stir all the time with a wooden spoon to really get the consistency of a syrup with the mixture. Whilst that's bubbling and simmering away, you can be slicing your 3rd lemon, and you're going to put that on top of your elderflowers inside your casserole dish. After about 15 to 20 minutes, your sugar syrup mixture will have the right consistency. You want to pour that into the casserole dish with all of your elderflowers, making sure that the syrup sinks down beneath the elderflowers and it soaks it all in, keeping the lemons on top of the elderflower. Pop the top of your casserole dish on and leave that for between 24 and 72 hours. When you come back to the mixture in about 3 days' time and you lift the lid off your casserole dish, you're going to have a real potent, distinctive elderflower smell, and you're going to have quite a thick syrup with all of the elderflowers floating on top. You then want to sieve that into a bowl or a measuring jug, which will allow you to pour that into the final bottle that you're going to stick it in. So get yourself a sieve, pour the casserole dish into your jug, making sure to keep any flowers and bits and pieces out of the jug. Once that's done, you can pop the entire mixture, the entire syrup, into a Kilner style bottle with a cork or a sort of a pop top. And once your bottle's full, stick the top on, but don't pop the seal down. Leave that so it can, get rid of anything, any gases or anything that might be in there, and leave that for, again, another 72 hours or so. After that, you should have some perfect elderflower syrup. To use it, you use it like any other syrup, so a dilute drink or anything like that, and generally you do it to taste, but I use about 1 part syrup to 7 to 8 parts water, and that will give you a lovely summer elderflower cordial drink that you can enjoy in the garden with your friends, whilst also benefiting from the enormous medicinal properties of the elder tree and the mother elder's protection. So what are you waiting for? You've got a very small window to pick elderflower. It blossoms between mid-June to the end of June, at least where I am in the north of England, but depending on where you are, that could be different. If you miss that window, then you're gonna have to wait until the elderberries start appearing in late summer, although that flavour is something completely different and it's used for a completely different purpose. So I hope that's been useful. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, then get yourself over to bonebright.com, where you can find all of the information about self-sufficiency and the things that I'm trying to do to at least become a little bit more self-sufficient in my life. I hope I see you there.